Taking off my ring gear at the DJC Collectibles studio, I'm Midwest professional wrestling legend Gage Octane. And now, here's a guy who didn't bother to show up to my big return match at Bridge City Slam 7 in Ottumwa, Iowa on September 6th, Kyle Peterson.
Everyone, Kyle here as usual with episode 25 of the Kyle Peterson Show. And as usual, my vivacious co-host, she's here. It's Angie. Angie, hello. Say hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Angie. Episode 25. Can you believe we made it this far?
Oh, we got this.
We got this.
We're going to 100.
We're going to 100, says Angie. We'll see. And that's where we'll call it quits. So, you know, it's like the long farewell with John Cena, the long goodbye, like a young Deep Purple. That's what we're doing right here today. But episode 25, a nice milestone, a quarter of the way to 100, and part of this 25th anniversary episode. I don't know if that's right.
That sounds like we're really special.
It does, but 25th episode. It is an anniversary. You guys know what I mean. But the 25th episode, spectacular. Later in this video, we got a special Q&A, asked for some questions. We got a few questions to dive into. And we got a few other, of course, of our segments to dive into here. But we got the housekeeping at the beginning here. Got to thank our friends at DJC Collectibles. Use discount code 8OFFDJC to save 8% off your entire order. Shout out to DJC Collectibles for being the title sponsor of the podcast since episode number 1. Good shout out to them. But Angie, in a plot twist, we also got another sponsor this week of the podcast. It is Amped Apparel. And Angie, I get a lot of questions about every single day saying, Kyle, where'd you get that t-shirt? Where'd you get this shirt at? Well, Amped Apparel is one of the places I do pick up my t-shirts from. They reached out and wanted to sponsor the podcast, so shout out to Amped Apparel. Link in the description down below, and coupon code Kyle saves 20% off your purchase. So, got to get a deal all day long. Support the channel, pick up a t-shirt, 20% off. I'll definitely be taking advantage of that coupon code myself. You know me, I love a good.
Your apparel's always amped up.
I'm always amped up in a lot of ways, that's for sure. But shout out to Amped Apparel for sponsoring the podcast and sponsoring the channel as well. Always nice to people to pay attention and want to sponsor the podcast and the YouTube channel and stuff like that. So kudos to all those companies there. And I got to mention Midwest professional wrestling legend Gage Octane. You know Gage, right, Angie?
Yep.
So Gage Octane was a special co-host of this podcast. I don't know how many episodes ago it was. Check out the video in the playlist of the podcast or whatever. But he sat in while Angie was over in Philadelphia. Of course, beautiful that time of year, right? But he was talking and we were asking him and I was giving him the hard questions. You could ever come out of retirement? And he said basically never say never. Well, never say never came just recently as he came out of retirement last weekend back in the ring. And I think he got the bug again. I think he's ready to start wrestling again. But if you guys know, Gage Octane, of course, the announcer of the Kyle Peterson Show, throwing me under the bus for not making it to his last wrestling show. And I guess Angie didn't make it there either.
No.
But we were busy with our niece's birthday party, unfortunately. So I would have been there. Unfortunately, we were for Gage, because I would have liked to have been there to support Gage Octane, but we had a birthday party to attend, and it sounds like all went well, and it sounds like I'll have another opportunity to see Gage Octane in the ring. So shout out to Gage Octane.
Sad part is she'll forget that we were there, and Gage will never forget we were there.
Yeah, that's right. And Charlotte was upset. She was in a bad mood that day, too. So
she didn't take a nap.
She didn't take a nap, so she was in a bad mood. But she did like the Rapunzel dress. Wasn't that what we got her?
Yep.
Rapunzel dress. So she enjoyed that. She enjoyed a little cosplay. Angie enjoys a little cosplay as well. You might see some of that in the weeks to come. So stay tuned for that on the channel very, very soon. But we do got a special episode for episode 25 here today. And usually, Angie, one of your favorite segments is try new foods because it might taste good, correct?
Yes.
That is one of your favorites. Probably your only favorite segment, maybe. But Angie, today we're going to do something different. As you got something here that you want to show people?
Why did I do this?
I don't know.
So we've never done this Bean Boozled challenge, where basically each color variation has one really nasty flavor and then one yummy flavor. So you don't know what you're going to get. So
we got some jelly beans. So I figured in between each segment, we would take a jelly bean and give it a try. So Angie, let's try the first jelly bean here today. We're going to try it in between each one and go from there. This might be
harder than I think.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. So I think you just...
We just dump a bunch out. Because I think
have them out.
I think we should try the same one and see if one of us gets a good and one gets nasty.
Okay, well, we're just dumping them. Good thing this table's clean. That's all I know.
It's a little dusty. Can you tell maybe these two are the same?
There you go.
The little yellow with spots. It's probably popcorn. No.
So you're saying one of them
My God. So one's either going to taste like a wet dog or one's going to taste banana.
Now, a wet dog
I wanna
usually has
die.
a musky taste to it. So I'm familiar with the wet dog taste, and you should be too. You just gave all the dogs a bath yesterday. So that will be our first try here. So you just pick.
I want to cry right now already.
Well, we'll try. So one of us is getting the wet dog, and one of us is getting the banana?
Well, maybe not. We might both get lucky and both get banana.
Oh, because there's multiples.
Yeah.
All right, well,
I'm scared.
Choose. Okay. Go for it. Let's see what it is.
Oh, God.
Oh.
God.
Yeah, mine doesn't taste good at all, so I'm guessing it's supposed to be wet dog.
But what does that taste like? It tastes like burnt.
You got one too?
Yeah.
This is riveting.
Wait, I got chicken skin.
Chicken skin, oh my gosh. I don't know. Mine just tasted like this gross, like, oh, I don't even know what the taste like. I guess it tastes like wet dog, I guess. But all the wet dogs I've tasted, that tasted different than those, so I'm not sure. So we're not sure what we're getting ourselves into.
We definitely
right
both got a bad one.
Yeah, I guess wet dog.
But I wouldn't give wet dog. Did yours kind of taste like a burnt? Like really burnt?
It's got like a, I don't know.
Like a burnt.
I don't know. I've had worse things in my mouth, and I know you've had worse things in your mouth a time or two. But I don't know. That's the first one we're going to try right there, I guess. But we'll try some of these jelly beans in between each segment, I guess, on the way through here.
Oh, gross.
But a lot going on here for episode 25 as we march to episode number 26 next week. And this week, Angie and I are on the road together. I can't believe it. We got a big grocers convention to go to, and Angie's going for her first ever attempt at a grocers convention. She's going to be looking only like she can look and eating some dinner and watching some fireworks. And I think there's a golf outing part of that. There's just a lot going on there. So maybe more on that in the next segment. Maybe we'll get some video from that. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some images of me golfing. When I go golfing, I show up and show out. That's for sure. I like to wear the old John Daly pants, so it's always the conversation of the grocery industry with, oh, what's Kyle going to wear here today? And I'm a guy that has no shame, of course. So Angie hopefully has no embarrassment. We'll just say it at that one there. So
oh my God.
A wild, wild time, Angie. But that's it for the housekeeping in the beginning. Not too much else going on. Got a big Q&A to go to later on here, but let's do a couple of the segments here. Let's start it off with a deeper dive. All right, Angie, it's time for a deeper dive, but first let's go a little bit deeper into some jelly beans. Let's try round number 2. Angie, what do you got for us in the second round?
It's going to be Stinky Socks or Tutti Frutti.
I don't even know what Tutti Frutti tastes like, really. Isn't it like, I guess it's fruity, apparently.
It'd be like a mixed fruit, probably.
I guess.
It's going to taste a little.
It tastes tutti. And then the wet socks for the other one, what's that taste like normally,
No,
Angie?
Stinky Socks.
Stinky socks. So usually when I put those socks in your mouth to quiet you down a little bit, I stick it in. Angie, you got to be quiet. I rip that sock off and I put that in your mouth. Is it like that?
I'd actually kill you if you stuck one of your socks in my mouth.
Oh, please.
Oh my God.
I bet Angie's got stinkier socks than me. Just saying.
No,
just saying.
no way.
There's no way.
You wear that sock sun up to sundown.
Sun up, sun
He's
down,
a
like
weirdo. He can't
like a
have
normal
bare feet.
person.
You can't have a bare feet.
No, I don't like bare feet. I don't like bare feet. I don't.
You'll
it's not a
never
thing.
catch him in a sandal.
No, never. It's too weird.
I still got the wet dog in my mouth.
Well, you're gonna get something else in there later, so be ready. I'll get that taste right out. But let's do this one. Which one do you want?
Oh God, I want the more pink one. I feel like
Stinky socks or Tutti Frutti, apparently.
Oh hell no!
I got Tutti Frutti.
I didn't.
It tastes. Oh, she's convalescing over here.
Oh my God, it tastes like throw up.
Oh, what's that taste like? Here, let me try some. Give me some.
Oh my God, there's a liver and onions one.
Oh, I like liver and onions.
My eyes are watering.
That was just fine for me, Angie. I didn't have any problems. So I'll continue on with the next segment. You convalesce over there. I guess if you're listening to the podcast, you might want to check out the video cast of this one here as Angie's about ready to throw up. And I'm okay. Throw up on here. Let's see it. There's people that are into that. You ever listen to Howard Stern? There's Jeff the Vomit Guy. And he'll pay you handsomely if you'll vomit on him. So
Oh my God.
you might be in luck right there. But Angie, we're diving into a deeper dive as Angie tries to power through. Good for you, Angie. Good for you. I'm fine. Tutti Frutti was just a fruity explosion in my mouth. Beautiful.
It's a rarity seeing me gag.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
I gotta cry.
But here we are, Angie. You can relax and try to get back on track as I'll dive into a deeper dive here. But today's deeper dive, We're talking retirement. That's what we're talking here today. Obviously, neither of us anywhere close to retirement, but you never know.
We might not ever.
Yeah, a lottery win puts you in retirement tomorrow, maybe. Who knows? But it's something we all have to think about. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, you could be like a young Deep Purple out there and just have the long goodbye, the long retirement, just saying, we know we're in the back half of the career. We're just not sure when we're going to be done. But retirement's an interesting one, and I brought this topic up because we're at episode 25, and can we make it to episode 100? And that's maybe where we'll set sail, and we'll see where it goes from there. Depending how things go, we'll see what happens. We're going to try to stick it out to 100 unless Angie or myself get hit by a bus, and it could happen. It could happen. There's a school bus that comes by the street of the house every single day. One of these days, Angie could get the mail and miss it, and just, the bus hit her, and that's all she wrote. So who knows? But talking retirement here, and it got me thinking about, Angie, now you're not in quite the place to retire right now like I am. I have a job I go to every single day. Angie just kind of floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee every single day.
I don't even have a 401k.
She's got all my stuff. She gets my benefits and retirement and all that. So I guess you really can't maybe discuss this, but you can just put yourself in that headspace. And I have to imagine here in another couple of years, you'll get more into the real working life like you used to do before kids and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So no matter what you're working at, you'll have a retirement. But I think we're both of the same mindset where it's like, yeah, we'll retire, but we'll probably still do something like a day or two a week just to kind of be out amongst the people doing something. We'll do something. And I think in this day and age, most people don't ever retire. I mean, I had to do my health thing this week, Angie. You had to do it as well, where we got our health assessment, all that, and they had to draw blood and make sure we were on the up and up. Mm-hmm. And I was very thankful I got my girl Diane. Shout out to Diane, baby. Looking at her. But she was telling me how she's one of those poor people that can never retire. She can't afford retirement. And there's a lot of people in that boat. And I think it's going to get worse and worse. I just look like our property taxes went way up. I'm like, we pay this house off, and we still got to pay property taxes every single year. Then heat, water, internet, cable, whatever you might have, streaming stuff. You got to eat food. You got to have gas, car insurance. There's still so many bills that are still with you every single day that just don't go away. So that's where you work 2 days a week. I work 2 days a week. Angie, you pay the streaming bill, the water bills. I pay the car insurance and heat or whatever it may be. So who knows? But poor Diane, taking my blood. She does an amazing job. Gets that blood right out of there. Because I apparently have little veins. Is that what you said? Little veins. I got one main vein though, and you see that thing all the time. I got one main vein, but the vein in my arm is apparently a little bit lighter. Where Angie's got like the juicy veins, as she says. So Angie's like, oh yeah,
they don't even have to put a thing on me.
No, Angie's ready to go. Like, she's ready to pop
there it is.
Yeah, but old Diane, she got my blood out there. Unfortunately, my blood's no good. I didn't do very good on my health assessment. There's too much stress in my life. I got too much stress going on. I'm ready to explode at a moment's notice. That's the problem. I somehow got to start doing meditation. I got to reach out to the Maharishi or something like that. Get some transdermal meditation is what I need to do. Who knows? But the long retirement, what is it going to be? What does that look like? And I'm interested on yours. So my dad retired once upon a time ago. I don't know, like 20 years ago, it feels like my dad's been retired. He's living the dream. But my dad was of the time where I'm not going to let everybody know it's a long retirement tour. There's a lot of people that said, hey, it's February 1st. I'm announcing right now that the end of the year, I am retiring. I'm done. So many people do this all the time. I have it in my company. You probably have it in your company. It's the long goodbye. And that's not a bad thing because maybe your company won't be as hard on you. Well, old Bob's leaving, and we'll just let him ride off into the sunset. So there's ways thinking about that. And maybe you get that last year of your career to be a little easier than the rest of your career. There's maybe some thinking involved in that. Or there's the other thing where you walk into the office and say, hey, I'm giving a 2-week notice. I'm retiring. Now, that's a wild move. And dare I say, Angie, that is a power move is what that is.
Really?
And that is what my dad did. Once upon a time, he was a CFO, COO of a company. Shout out to him. He climbed those ranks. I'll never be able to compete with that. That's for sure. But he just one day said, you know what? I'm done in 2 weeks. And they're just like, oh my gosh, you can't be done in 2 weeks. We can't lose you. We need you. We need all this. And then by doing that, they said, Dad, no, they said to my dad, could we call you as a consultant and stuff? And I think they said they paid him his next year's salary if he could be a consultant for them. So in the long run, he really won. He said they only called him like once or twice in the first couple of months. Then they didn't call him, but he cashed that paycheck. So there's the smart thinking about that. Would you rather have another year pay for basically doing nothing, or would you rather have that last year an easy go? I'd probably rather do what my dad did, give me
Yeah.
1 extra year of salary on the back end. So it's definitely interesting things about that. Now, I kind of lean towards saying I'd want to do the long goodbye where I'd go around, I'd shake some hands for the last time, kiss a few babies for the last time, work the circuit, say, hey, it was a great 50 years, whatever it may be. I've been around. The long goodbye, the deep purple goodbye is what I'm talking about right there. But I'm kind of leaning towards the 2-week goodbye. I kind of lean towards that now. I don't know. I kind of want to leave them in mystery. Like, why would Kyle leave in 2 weeks? What's going on here? Keep them guessing. Keep them guessing at the end of the day. Is he terminal? Is he dying? Did he get another job? Is he really retiring? What's he doing? But it's interesting to think about that. And I got a ways to go before I think about that, unfortunately. You don't want to wish your life away, but I would like to retire. It would be nice. It would be nice just sit on a lake somewhere, just dipping my socked feet in the lake. No bare toes in the lake. I'll put socks on for that too.
You put your toes in the lake, you'd have little...
I need a little...
the fishies all biting them.
little bluegills or something,
You'd
maybe.
Give me these cows.
But what would you do, Angie? The long goodbye or the 2-week?
I think I'd probably do the long goodbye. I don't think I could keep it in.
Oh, well... I guess the other thing is you don't know when you just all of a sudden one day, you know what, I'm done. You think about it a week and then that's when you tell the 2 weeks.
But you hear of so many people that say like, oh, I'm leaving in 6 months. Like they give a long and then they're like, they just fire them immediately or just cut them off immediately. And then they really needed that money for the next 6
that's
months.
dangerous too. I guess depending on what kind of company you work for, you could get the Molly Hatchet right away and they might get rid of you and give you 2 weeks.
I don't know if they would do that to like a really tenured person that was
maybe.
Like,
I don't think that goes on. I think there's like work things around that and I don't know, age discrimination. But as we know, you can get around anything if you really wanted to. I see that a lot in my industry. Oh, you're over 50 years old and you got all this vacation and you make all this money. It's time to get rid of you. I mean, that's pretty historic in my industry. I've seen it to many of bosses, many of friends in my life. And it is unfortunate. And I always know in the back of my mind, one day I'll probably get that as well. So I don't know. You just got to plan for the future best you can. Angie's about ready to throw up from her wet sock.
I just burped wet dog's stinky sock.
Wet dog and stinky socks. Angie's loving it.
Basically, my mouth just tastes like I just threw up.
Oh my gosh. You got to get something.
Throw up
We need to get something good tasting in that mouth immediately, Angie. I'll get you something. It's probably something with some cream, is knowing you as well. That'll help coat the throat a little bit for you. So who knows? But there it is. That's a little retirement talk. I don't know. One day we'll talk retirement, but I figured the 25th episode here on our way to 100. Is that retirement? Is it the long goodbye? We'll see.
When are you going to retire from YouTube is the real question.
When am I going to retire from YouTube? I mean, that could be ticking soon as well. I don't know. There's always changes too with YouTube and everything else. You never know which way it's going. They're saying right now they're suppressing creator views and stuff like that. You really never know what's going on there. So you never know. You never know when your day may be up. So it could be tomorrow. So enjoy it while you can. Enjoy everything while you can, be it in your own life, be it in the podcast, be it in the YouTube.
Can't keep a good man down.
Be it in Angie and her dirty socks in her mouth, whatever that may be. So there it is. That's a little bit of a deeper dive. Now, Angie, we're moving over to the album of the week. All right, Angie, it's time for album of the week. And once again, we're doing a little bit of a song of the week. But before we get to that, we got the Jelly Bean Challenge. Hopefully, Angie gets something else disgusting in her mouth. Angie, what do you got for us this time? What are our options?
Oh, gosh. This one's going to be either Old Bandage or Pomegranate.
Pomegranate? I don't know. I mean, that's going to be better than Old Bandage. And I don't know what an Old Bandage tastes like. Does it have like a metallic taste because of the blood?
Oh, God.
Is it a bloody bandage? Maybe?
No, what's a Band-Aid made of?
I don't know. It's made of love because it holds up those cuts. That's for sure. All right, Angie. Pick which one you want. Let's dive into this, Jelly Bean.
I got it.
Do it. I think I got the pomegranate. What is it? Gross? Are you okay? Are you all right?
This is the worst one yet.
Worst one yet?
Oh, my God.
Uh-oh.
Look at my leg.
Oh, my gosh. Better you than me, that's for sure.
You know what this tastes like? I just like sucked on a
what?
mechanic's hands or something.
Oh.
It tastes like
oil and metallic and...
I can't even...
Mine tastes like a pomegranate.
I'm trying to just swallow it, but it's stuck in my teeth.
Just swallow it down, Angie. You just got a no gag reflex. Just swallow it down.
I want to die right now.
You got the skin. You got the bumps everywhere. The old chicken skin everywhere.
The sad part is this was my idea.
It was. This is all Angie. The rib was on herself, unfortunately. Look at you. Got a drink right there to not toughen it down. Yeah, mine was fine. I guess I got
even
the
brought a
pomegranate.
little cup in case I needed to spit it out. But I'm trying not to be weak.
You always swallow. You don't spit.
How did I get 3 bad in a row? Did you get a bad one?
Not yet. No, I got to keep it going good for me. So I don't know. That first one, it didn't taste that bad. I don't know what it was, but.
Oh my God.
Well, Angie, you're in luck. You can convalesce over there, and I'll dive into Song of the Week this week. As this week I did listen to the new Beatles song, Free as a Bird, 2025 remix from the upcoming Anthology Part 4, I guess, the Anthology series. Now, I'm a huge Beatles guy, Angie, of course. Going way back to the 60s when I was a little kid. No, not necessarily that. Quick story time with Kyle, I guess you could call this one here. I got into Paul McCartney in 1989, one of the first ever musical groups I really got into. I absolutely love Flowers in the Dirt and Off the Ground. That was the 1-2 punch, 89-90 with Paul McCartney. And I remember people saying, wow, you like Paul McCartney? What do you think of the Beatles? I'm like, what's the Beatles? I don't know what the Beatles are. Oh, it's another band he was in and you would really like them. I'm like, no, just Paul McCartney solo for me. And I'm not even talking Wings here. I'm talking Flowers from the Dirt, Off the Ground. 2 bangers, 2 all-timers, though, I will say. And I remember just for years saying, I don't need to listen to the Beatles. Paul McCartney solo is all I need. And especially that 80s, early 90s. Ooh, Chef's Kiss, which once again, I do enjoy. But of course, the hubbub around the anthology starting in like 94, and I think they officially came out in 1995, was a heck of a big deal. If you were around, you remember it. There was Beatlemania going everywhere. And we're getting that again here this fall with the re-release of the anthology, another episode of the anthology, and another album from the anthologies. And it really is trying to make the Beatles relevant to a new generation. It's trying to do what it did for me in my early teen years, what it'll do for kids in hopefully their early teen years here. It's all business. And at the end of the day, as we say all the time, action figures, music, whatever, follow the money. Because unfortunately, the Beatles, I think, are losing a lot of luster in today's generation. Knowing that I have a 14-year-old girl and a 10-year-old girl, they don't know anything about the Beatles. Emma maybe has heard of them. I know Elle has, but they don't listen to them. They don't like them. So the hope is with, of course, Apple Music and everything else that they can get the Beatles into a new generation with this new anthology, being on Disney Plus, things like that. So it's going to be an interesting business study. Obviously, a lot of the older people than me and maybe my age will be into this, but will the younger generation dive into this? And is there a point in time where all things must pass, as George Harrison once told me outside of Friar Park in the 70s? He said, Kyle, let me tell you, all things must pass. And could hardcore Beatles fandom be passing? Now, I'm sure once upon a time somebody said, oh, that Mozart, he is the greatest of all time. Well, in this day and age, Angie, I don't know if you hear it out there on the old mean streets. Anybody listening to Mozart, really? Really? Are you really listening to Mozart? I don't think anybody is. I remember as a kid having to listen to it in school music. Nobody was listening to that. Our teacher was like, this is the greatest thing ever. And I'm just like, kill me now.
Do I say it wrong? I feel like I say Mozart.
What did I say?
Like with the T. You kind of don't do a T sound. You're like
Mozart?
I say Mozart.
Mozart?
Oh my God, I think I've been saying it wrong my whole life.
You know, I think either way,
I think it has a T in it. It's just M-O-Z, right?
M-O-Z-A-R-T, I think.
Oh
I don't
my
know.
God.
Mozart?
I've been adding like an extra little like T sound.
We all know what you mean if you say it. No, but and I don't think Mozart's too offended anyways.
Now you said it different. Now
Oh,
you said it like I said it.
Mozart. Mozart sounds right now. I don't know. Either way, I don't care what you say. I don't care who pronounce it. I don't think he'll be offended. I don't even know if anybody can trace his lineage to today. Is there any more Mozarts? Are we okay?
I'm dying.
You about jumped when I give you a little tickle.
Oh my God.
A little tickle.
And eyes are still running.
No, we still got a few more of these left, but it'll be interesting to see with the Beatles what happens in the future because nobody listens to Mozart and Beethoven and that kind of stuff. Sometimes we roll over Beethoven like a young Chuck Berry from time to time, and Carl Perkins, and the Beatles too. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they can capture this because I really, unfortunately, do think the Beatles is going to be not forgotten. Of course, we're talking about Beethoven and stuff right now, but I just don't think it's going to be on the lips of kids. And it's unfortunate. I am pretty biased being a huge, huge Beatles fan. One of these days, I'll tell you guys about a story time with Kyle because I think enough time has passed legally. I can start talking about this. But my run-in with the RIAA once upon a time, and that shifty lawyer, my dad, helping me out of all kinds of trouble as a young teen. Luckily, I wasn't over 18 when this went down. But that's a heck of a story time for Kyle. So we'll talk about that. But some may say at one time I had about the biggest audio Beatles collection in the world. And we're talking bootleg studio material. everything else. So I'm pretty deep into my Beatles knowledge and solo career Beatles knowledge. Ringo, John, George, everything. I've listened to every single album a billion times, basically. A billion.
How long were the Beatles?
Not very long. A lot of people thought it was a long time, but it was like 7 years or something like that. I guess a little bit more than that, maybe 9 years total, but recording history-wise, they jammed a lot in on there. And still to this day, my favorite Beatle, George Harrison. George Harrison, of course, but Free as a Bird 2025 mix, they did poke that one out there. Of course, new technology updates and stuff. And usually my ears aren't good enough to tell a difference between remastered and remixed. I mean, sometimes you can tell, but at the end of the day, it's like you got to really pay attention, and I'm just not good enough in my ears on that kind of stuff. But I will say this Free as a Bird remix, if you know the old version, you listen to them side by side, this one blows it away. So they cleaned up John's vocals amazingly on this. Brings a lot of life to this song. So usually you don't see that. You definitely see it here. So definitely worth a listen there. Can't wait to hear Real Love, which I preferred Real Love over Free as a Bird at the time. Still do now. It'd be interesting to see how they update that one in the future. And then Now and Then, the one they came out with about a year ago, that'll be on Anthology 4 as well. Getting long-winded into the Beatles knowledge here, but I'm very excited about the Anthology. I'll never forget when Anthology 1 came out once upon a time. We'll probably tell that story in the future. So there it is this week. Check out Free as a Bird 2025 remix. That is album of the week. And Angie, now we got to turn our attention to figure of the week. Before we do that, we got to try another jelly bean.
Right.
All right, Angie, it's time for Figure of the Week, or as we say it, the punishment is due once again for Angie here. Angie, what do you got for us in the Jelly Bean Challenge today?
Okay. Oh, God. Dead fish or strawberry banana smoothie.
Well, luckily, I enjoy both of those things. I love dead fish. Give me a nice salmon.
But if
I love smoked
cooked,
salmon.
this is going to taste like a fish.
Oh, like a raw dead fish? Oh, my gosh. It'll just, I love
it's
little
not going
fish.
to taste like a tilapia.
Yeah,
glazed
maybe.
tilapia.
We'll see what it tastes like. I got some comparisons I can do, I'm sure. So you want to choose? We'll see. Hopefully I get the dead fish. I want to take the pain away from you. We'll see. Down the hatch. Strawberry banana. You got dead fish? Oh my gosh.
I can't even talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it? Poor Angie. Just striking out here left and right. And I'm letting you choose too. So you get first pick. You just maybe should have me pick first. I'm doing the gentlemanly thing. Are you going to throw up? Just hurl. Just throw up. Just do it.
Thank God that one didn't stick in the teeth as bad as the last one, so I could swallow it really quick. I feel it sound like I'm gonna cry.
You do. She looks like she's gonna cry. Is it that bad?
It's so bad. Can you imagine my breath right now?
I can't smell them. I got allergies.
Oh my God.
Boy, you're just having this game really came back around on you, didn't it?
Oh God.
Oh, poor Angie today. The Jelly Bean Challenge going south. Well, we got a couple more jelly beans to try, so hopefully you just round it off with all. Are you? Let's see. I don't see anything.
I got little covers on.
Oh, good for you. Stopping everybody here. But Angie, it's time for Figure of the Week. This will be a quick one right here. But Angie, I'm going to question you on this one, if you can even talk. But we're going to NECA. We're going to new Ultimate figures. We reviewed both these on the channel. It is Bert and Ernie, of course. Bert and Ernie right here. One of the favorite couples, of course, in this day and age. But
that's the big question. Are they a couple?
Nobody knows. But somebody said in the comments when I reviewed these that back in the time when these guys were invented, there was a lot of. They said they were brothers or something, but it was actually the father and son. And they didn't want the son to know that it was like the dad, and that was kind of the thing. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird philosophy. I'd never heard of it before. But I was never a Sesame Street fan. I hated Sesame Street. I still can't watch Sesame Street. I don't know what I'd be doing watching Sesame Street. But I remember as a little kid, my grandma sitting me down. We talked about her with Meals on Wheels last week. Sit me down saying, oh, your uncle loved Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers. I wanted nothing to do with it as a kid. I just did not enjoy it at all. It did absolutely nothing for me. But very nostalgic because it's a property that's been around. Everybody basically knows who these two are. So it's one of those pop culture phenomenon type things. And I got to say, you call it like I see it, the figures are absolutely amazing. They look just like Bert and Ernie. Very, very cool. Even if I wasn't a fan of the show, couldn't stand watching the show, there's something about seeing these guys in action figure form that is really, really cool. So a weird fandom for me on these figures here. And as of right now, I'm all in. I did get the count as well. I think we talked about that not too long ago. But these are very, very nice looking figures here. Definitely worth the pickup if you're nostalgic for it, for sure. But even if you're borderline nostalgic, this is worth picking up for you. But Angie, any Sesame Street thoughts for you? Did you watch it as a kid?
Not really.
Now, you had PBS as a kid. You said you didn't have cable all the time when you were a little kid, but you had PBS, but you didn't waste your time with Sesame Street.
The only two shows I really remember are watching Barney and then watching SpongeBob. Those are really the only two shows.
I guess you are very young. You are very young, apparently, because SpongeBob was way after my time. I never gave a thought to SpongeBob. The best thing I ever thought about SpongeBob was when the band Ween and Motorhead, my favorites, did songs for SpongeBob once upon a time.
Cute.
But these are very cool. We'll see what NECA brings us next as Angie's convalescing over there getting ready to puke. She's gonna puke. She's gonna puke. We'll see what happens next time there. But there it is. Figure of the week this week. I almost said Barney and SpongeBob. You got me to think of them. Bert and Ernie. But Angie, now it's time for a Tales from Retail. All right, Angie, it's time for Tales from Retail. But first, we got to dive into the Jelly Bean Challenge. What do you got for us this time?
Oh, my God. Liver and onions or cappuccino?
Now, that's a weird one here because I don't really like beef liver, but I love chicken liver. It goes back to my grandma making it as a little kid. I love chicken liver. So if it tastes like chicken liver, I'm all in. And I don't like cappuccino. I don't like coffee taste, coffee smells. None of that does anything for me. So I almost feel like I would prefer the liver and onions, but we'll see what goes on. Angie, you want to pick or should I pick?
Yeah, you go first.
All right, I'll go first. All right. Ready to go. Hopefully, well, what do you prefer? You prefer the cappuccino for sure because you like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do it. Uh-oh. I don't know what mine tastes.
Oh, my God.
Did you get liver and onions?
You know those, like, onion... Stop. You know those onion packets?
Okay.
You like cook with?
Yeah.
It feels like I just dumped that entire thing in my mouth around.
I guess mine's cappuccino, but it just tastes like brown to me. I don't know. I didn't enjoy mine either. Ugh, gross.
It's so stuck in my teeth.
This is turning into a great episode here where Angie is just testing the limits of Flavor Town. Oh.
I need a minute.
She needs a minute. Well, it's good. I'll go to story time with Kyle here. But poor Angie just striking out left and right today. But you'll strike in. You'll hit a home run tonight. I know you will. So we'll wash that down with something else. Something good for you tonight. Maybe we'll get you some ice cream. Who knows? Drink it down.
You better give me a treat.
I'll give you a big treat later. Don't you worry.
The worst part is there's like 60% of your sugar intake for the day in these.
Ugh.
Well, you got to eat the whole package, I guess.
Yeah, we'll eat the whole package just like you usually do. So we'll see. But Angie, it's time to dive into Tales from Retail. And this is an interesting one this week here. This one goes back to me being a kid, working at a grocery store. As Angie's just going to have to take a minute. You need to walk off screen for a while? Maybe. She's struggling over here. The old chicken skin getting you and everything. But Tales from Retail goes back to me as being a little kid working at a grocery store. Of course, when you're really little working at a grocery store, when you're 14, 15 years old, you're doing jobs like, sweeping the floor, you're bagging groceries, you're doing the can redemption, cleaning off tables, as we talked about once upon a time. But at least the grocery store I worked at as a kid, one of the big things you did do was drive up, was where the cashier, you get your groceries all sacked up and everything. They put it in a cart, and then they write on your receipt the cart number, and then it would take you to a drive-up area. You'd go get in your car, you'd drive up, and then the young kid like myself would, of course, put the groceries into the car. And that was a big thing for young kids to have to do. And it's wild, Angie, because none of the grocery stores around us anymore do that really anymore. That's kind of a thing that just doesn't happen, where you'd pull up, you'd flash your number, they'd grab the cart, bring it in, fill it up, put it in the trunk, put it in the back seat, whatever. And there was a lot of weird stories over the years where people say, oh yeah, put it in my lap or whatever, put the milk jug here with me. Or you get somebody's car that's absolutely full and you'd be like, okay, where am I supposed to put all this stuff? Your car's full. But you'd have all kinds of crazy stuff. And usually the people that got drive up most of the time were the older people, or people that had like multiple carts of groceries, obviously. But the old people, a lot of times, they're not going to carry, they're weaker or whatever. And I would always be out on, are you okay? Need a little back there? But, there'd be a lot of people that would be older that would come out there. And now older drivers, not to be biased against older drivers, but sometimes they're running over curbs and they're running over people. They're not as quite quick in the reflexes as maybe young whippersnappers are.
It's the eyesight.
It's the eyesight going away. But I'll never forget one time a guy rolled in, an old guy. I mean, I don't know how old he was. I was probably 15 years old. But this guy had to be in like his 80s or whatever.
He was probably like 50.
And but he rolled in there and he ran over my foot with his car. So I was very lucky because I moved, like you could curl your toes up inside your shoe. And I saw this coming because I don't remember how it just lined up, but I saw it coming. And I immediately started to roll up my feet to try to, soften the blow.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully I did that, but unthankfully,
it just got the tip or what?
he stopped and parked the car on my shoe. So I'm stuck. I'm sitting there stuck right there, like, what the heck? I can't move.
Position.
So and I'm like, hey, you're on my foot. You're on my foot. I ended up taking my shoe off, and there's my shoe stuck underneath his tire. And he just sat there it felt like an eternity trying to explain what the heck was going on right here with this guy. But I'll never forget. It's like, gosh, this guy just crazy, just flying in here on drive up and stuff like that. Just absolutely wild. And there was usually 2 people on drive up because it was really busy back in the day. And I remember being out there in snow and heat. And I mean, there's nothing worse than it was like a blizzard in the middle of the winter. And you're out there on drive up trying to push these through snow, trying to load them up. And it's super cold outside. God, it was terrible. These kids these days, they don't have to do that kind of stuff, or at least around here anymore.
They actually have like the online,
online,
there's a whole
and people usually push.
That they drive up to.
Yeah, there's that kind of thing, but then there's people push their stuff out, carry their stuff out, whatever it may be.
Pushing a cart in the snow is like,
oh, it's the worst.
It's the worst.
It's the worst.
So hard.
So many terrible times, and I remember just being like 50 below zero with the wind chill or whatever it is. You're just out there just dying and freezing. And you get those people too on the drive up that would take like an hour to get their cart. Like you have one cart, you're sitting out there for an hour, which wasn't bad because you're just sitting there waiting. But you're like, where are these people? And you get the people, you come in, oh, I went all the way home. I forgot my groceries. I forgot to get it. And thankfully for me on drive up, it never happened to me, but it happened to a lot of people. And it was a nightmare. I always double check these numbers because you would get people that would put the wrong bag of groceries in the wrong car. They'd drive off, and then all of a sudden that guy's going to be mad when he finds out. And then you got somebody staring you in the face. Where's number 23? Oh my gosh, we gave it to the other guy. Thankfully, that never happened to me. I would just be mortified if that happened because customers would be mad and everything. So I was very key to double check, triple check, ask, okay, are you sure that was 23? And man, oh man, that was always a dangerous thing. But
so what'd you do if they like fully forgot? Roll it into the cooler or something?
After a while we would. Yeah, after a while. I don't know how long we'd wait. We'd be like, there's something going on here. This one never showed up. We better do something. They got milk. They got all this kind of frozen stuff, especially when it was summertime. Their ice cream melting and stuff out there.
You're old when you get to your car and just leave. You forgot.
Oh, and it happens. And I can see that because every once in a while, this happens to me too in parking lots. I'll be on the phone for work and walking into the grocery store. And it's like you're parked. You don't pay attention. You're walking in, you're on the phone. Then you come out of the store. Where did I park? I don't even know where I'm at because I was on the phone. I wasn't paying attention. So I can imagine some of these old people getting all discombobulated, getting their prescriptions mixed up or something and just forgetting stuff. And it happened a lot, but I'll never forget that guy running over my foot and just like stuck right there. But I always enjoyed it as a kid too. My grandparents would always come when I was on drive. They'd always make sure to come out there. And I remember one time, and it was funny as a kid too, there was the really old employees were out on drive up or the really young employees. It's like, that's where I'm like, I started sacking groceries. I'll probably die sacking groceries. What's going to happen for me? But I remember there was this really old guy and my grandparents didn't really like this guy. And it was old people heat. Old people don't always get along. You think all old people are friends? Not necessarily. Those old people would rather have a young whippersnapper than me than a guy, their peer, putting their stuff in. But I'll never forget the old guy. He broke their trunk. Shutting their trunk.
Oh, shoot.
So that was a whole fiasco. Like my grandparents wanted their trunk fixed because I forget what he bent something or did something really stupid. I don't know, but
how do you even do that? My God.
I think he slammed it too hard or he bent it back. I can't remember what happened, but I felt bad for my grandparents because they're like, well, we want to complain and get this fixed, but we don't want to hurt your job. I'm like, well, they won't know that you're my grandparents. We got a pretty common last name, I would say. Yeah. They wouldn't tie this together, but they did get it fixed. It wasn't something wild, but my grandpa to this day, just, I don't like that guy. I don't like that guy. I don't want that guy. He'd check if he was working. Maybe we won't do drive up today. Or he'd say, Kyle, maybe you just take this out for us instead of that guy doing it. Who knows? But There it is. That's a quick Tales from Retail right there. Kind of a story time with Kyle, too, but Tales from Retail. You got any history of drive up? You ever did drive up? You ever have anything like that?
No.
You never did. You never worked in the salt mines of the grocery industry, that's for sure. So
No, nothing weird like that.
Wild Type, you eaten any weird foods lately?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had a
not
rough
good.
go.
Not
She's had a rough
fun.
go. But
Not having fun.
not having fun. But we're all enjoying it, though. That's for sure. And I think most people would rather have you have the bad tasting stuff than me. Everybody loves me. They seem to not like you. They seem to not like you. They root for me. They root for me. Root for Kyle. That's what they say. But there it is. That's a Tales from Retail. Angie, now we got a special 25th episode Q&A. All right, Angie, it's time for a few final thoughts with a little bit of a bonus Q&A, part of the 25th anniversary. I'm going to say anniversary. Episode anniversary. It kind of is. I don't know. 25th episode special. We got a Q&A, but before that, Angie's got to taste something gross again. Let's try it, Angie. What do we got this time? Which one are we going with?
I've truly been being boozled.
Bean Boozled.
I had to take a little siesta.
She had to take a
Took
siesta.
nap. I had to brush my teeth.
I had to take a phone call, so Angie had to take some...
I sat in the sun for a minute. I think I'm detoxed now.
Well, maybe you'll have better fortunes this time. Maybe you'll get something. But what are we trying this time, Angie?
I don't know what you pick.
I don't
Which
care.
variation?
We'll go with the blue one.
Okay, the blue one's either toothpaste or berry blue.
What's the
That's
other
a safe one
What's
because
the other
my
one?
already breath smells like toothpaste.
What's the yellow? Those don't look the same to me either.
Oh, I bet it's this one. I bet it's booger and juicy pear.
What's a booger taste like? I have
You
never
would
eaten
know.
a booger in my life. I have never done that. There was kids that always eat it, and people say, "Oh, they've sampled it, they've tried it." I can honestly, hand on a Bible, say I have never picked a booger out and said, "You know what? This would be
I
good
think
eating."
because you have allergies, your nose is always very thin, like your mucus. You know what I mean? So it's always just running.
I don't know. I've never.
I don't think I've ever seen a booger, like an actual.
Oh,
booger.
I've had a real booger before, but I've never once in my brain ever said, "You know what? This would be great to taste." I think I need to put that. Even when I was like in kindergarten, I remember just thinking like, "Ew, these kids are disgusting. What are they doing?" I don't know, but Angie's up for any fluids. She's up for anything. But okay, I guess we'll try this blue one then. It's toothpaste or what?
Berry blue.
All right, well,
It's
give it
the
a try.
safest one, really.
All right, let's
right.
go.
I got a berry blue.
No, I got toothpaste.
I got berry blue.
I got the toothpaste. And it tastes just like toothpaste. Like,
I'm so
that's
happy.
not that bad. I mean, it tastes like
No.
mint. You could say this is mint, and people would be like, "Oh, it's a mint."
That would have been the perfect one for me earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, it just tastes like mint or scope or something like mouthwash. It's totally good. I have no issues with this one, so I'm okay with this.
I'm so blessed right now.
You want to try another
It's
one?
probably not as entertaining, but
Should we try another one?
I guess.
Let's do this black one. What's that going to be?
No, it's going to be gross for me either way because I hate licorice.
Okay.
So it's burnt rubber or licorice.
And what was the yellow ones?
Yellow one is
booger?
either a booger or a pear.
All right, let's do booger or pear.
Okay.
Let's go. Your choice. Oh, that's pure booger right there. You'll know what it tastes like because
The
you
booger sugar.
you eat your boogers.
It's got to be booger. I mean, or wait.
I don't know.
Well, it just tastes like dirt. Or it's
So
gotta
is
be
mine.
It's got to be a booger.
It must be. Mine
It
tastes
almost
the
looks like
same.
you're eating grass or something, like the ground. That's got to be the booger. It's not that bad though.
Doesn't taste like pear, but I don't know what it tastes like.
What was the first one we both got that was bad? It was the only bad one you got, but it really wasn't that gross.
No, I don't think I got a bad one.
Oh, it was the wet dog.
Yeah,
The wet dog and banana was the first one,
I got
and we
the
both
banana.
just thought it was
I got
no,
the
because we
banana.
thought it tasted burn. I thought.
Oh, that was something different. I don't know. Anyways,
Oh,
riveting,
okay.
riveting. But
Yeah, that one was bad.
yeah, I don't know. Nothing too exciting right there. But we do got some questions this week here. Final thoughts. We got a few extra questions here, and I guess I'll read the long ones since you don't like to read the long ones.
just a baby.
She only likes long ones in certain things. But Travis Garland, 1771, says, "Hey, Kyle, question for you. I've been all in on the Joe Classifieds since day one, like myself. With the success of the pre-orders in HasLabs, do you think there will ever be a chance to see something big? The headquarters, Flag, Terradrome, Defiant. Price would be huge, but man, they are hot right now. Strike while the iron is hot. Love the content. Love the podcast. The next Leno, that would be Jay Leno.
Oh God.
Got to wear denim to be Jay Leno, that's for sure. But thank you for the kind words there. And Travis, I don't know. I'd say never. I talked at length with Lenny. I mean, I spent a lot of time with him at the Cold Slither concert, spent a lot of time with him at the Hasbro breakfast, talking back and forth, obviously. He would love to be a part of that kind of stuff, but it's like it just doesn't make sense in the times we're at right now is what they say. I did talk to them, and I said what they need to do is like the aircraft carrier. You make the hull of the aircraft carrier, you make that out of plastic, but then think of like extreme sets with those fancy cardboard sets they make. Make the deck and all of that out of that. Make it somewhere that's easily enfoldable, and you can get it out of the way if you wanted to. I think that's what they're going to have to do. I don't know, though. It's expensive. I guess we'll just see. But my gut says they won't do that, but you never know. Never say never, I guess, on that one there. Second question from Adam under the bed. And I know a Rob under the bed. I don't know an Adam under the bed. Question of the week. Kyle, will there ever be any cuts to your Mattel collection, or will you stay complete to the end? Oh. Angie says, I don't know. So I feel like I want to stay complete to the end, but when is the end? Will the end be before me or me before the end? Who knows? When will it stop? I mean, it could be 5 years from now. Could be 3 years from now. I don't know when
you won't retire mid-series.
Yeah, I feel like
complete one and be like, okay, this is it.
I'm 120 series complete plus all the ancillary stuff. I can't just stop now. So it's like I'm going to see it out as long as I can, and I'm pretty sure that G.I. Joe Classified, if I was going to dial back collecting and just really dial it back, those would be the two lines I just continue on with, I think. So I feel like I need to be complete to the end, and I don't wish Mattel to lose the license and move on, but there is something kind of satisfying about that where you can kind of say, hey, it's over. Chapter, It's the end of the book, kind of like Jakks Once Upon a Time, and you call it quits, and that's all she wrote. So I don't know, but I will stay complete, at least as of now, till the end. Old Adam under the bed. We got a few more questions here. Angie, I don't know if you like any of these questions. These aren't really related to you anywhere. I think there's one.
I'm just sitting here looking cute.
You're just sitting there, just dreaming of another booger jelly bean is what you're looking for.
I just thought I got one good one.
Eric Fint. I always got Flint on the mind. Eric Fint 9255. Thoughts on Hasbro's possible impending price increase on Legends and Classified going to $27.99 each? It sounds like it is happening. It's already happened, I guess. Amazon has the newest Classified wave of that price, same as the new Doctor Doom. Amazon even added $10 to the new Strong Guy. Pulse still has the regular price, though, for now at least. And yeah, I guess price going up. It's just the way of everything. Everything goes up, inches up. But man, action figures has been hit hard the last couple of years. And I have to think there's more and more people saying, you know what? There's a level I want to pay, and I'm not going to pay that level. It also makes for long gamers like Angie that says, I'm going to wait for a deal. I'm going to wait for a sale. So there's a lot around it, but I'm not a fan, obviously. I hate price increases. I understand price increases more than a lot of people do, Angie, because I have to give them all the time. Mm-hmm. I always have to deal with it in my business life. So I'm fairly accustomed to it and making it work. And I think the best way to go with price increases is you start a price increase, but then you do a couple of hot sales in between to kind of soften the blow and ease them into that. We don't see a lot of that with Amazon and stuff, and I guess that's more up to the retailers, but them working with the retailers, which give or take on that, we know. So it is what it is. I hate to say that, but it's just the cost of doing business, and Mattel, Hasbro, whoever, they're going to make their money. They got to make that first. It's a business at the end of the day. And I don't think any of the companies, knowing from a lot of major companies I've worked with, nobody wants to stick it to the consumer, stick it to their fan base. And that's really what you are. If you buy Oreos, we pick on Oreos all the time. If you buy them consistently, they don't want to stick it to you. You're a loyal supporter, so they want to do the best they can, but also they have to make their profits, pay those employees and stuff like that. So I don't think Hasbro or any of them are sticking it to people. It is what it is, and unfortunately that's the cost, and it's up for the consumer, you and me and Angie, to vote with our wallets and choose if we like that. If we don't like that, well, maybe it'll change, maybe it'll disappear, maybe they won't make that toy line anymore. That's just the way it is. That's the business there. So thanks for the question, Eric.
I think it's so funny they could have asked us anything in the world, and these are all toy questions.
It tells you we know my fan base. We know the fan base. Gary Rickelman, 25th episode question. What are your unfiltered thoughts on the Jakks Monster Ring for Bone Crunchers? Angie, what are your thoughts on that one?
I have no thoughts.
Have you ever heard of Bone Crunchers?
I think so.
Have you ever heard of Monster Rings?
Yeah, Bone. It's just like a line of figures, right?
Yeah, well, very good. Very good. The best they could do at the time are just an absolute kick to the nethers. They eventually gave us the Attitude Ring with the cage and the catapult, nifty carrying case features, but those first 2 years were absolute garbage. Of the two Monster Rings to this day, it still makes me mad. I agree. So the Jakks Monster Ring, I remember as a kid seeing that, I'm like, oh boy, well, why would I buy this? It's the same as my LJN ring. I have that ring already. And it was just a very cheap out by Jakks. And of course, Jakks, LJN being related, do the history business lesson on that. reusing the mold of that. It makes sense. And I think if you put yourself back, hey, a parent buying for a kid playing with these toys, it's really not that big a deal. But if you're a collector, somebody like that, a little bit more advanced, like Gary Ruckelman here and myself and maybe Angie, yeah, it's not what you were looking for. And it wasn't what I immediately said, this ring's too big for these figures, doesn't work. So it was very, very disappointing. And I remember just passing on it, never owning that monster ring. So I love the LJN ring, did not like the monster ring, just felt like I understood what they're doing, especially nowadays as I spit all over the place.
Oh,
must be leftover jelly bean right there, I guess. But yeah, it was disappointing. So like a lot of people, I don't think I enjoyed that one either. So is what it is. Thank you, Gary, for the question. Jonathan Hodap, 8735. You asked a lot of questions, of course. My question, since you're a pizza connoisseur, what are your thoughts or feelings on calzones, strambolis, bagel bites, pizza rolls, I think is what that means, cheesy bread, etc.? Basically, portable pizza for the go. Now, I guess I can ask you that, Angie, a little bit. What do you think about a calzone?
I like a calzone. That'd probably be like the one I would pick of those.
Okay, so like a calzone to me just feels kind of like a waste of time because it's basically a pizza like wrapped in kind of a bigger shell.
It's
you
almost
cut
too much bread now.
It's too much bread, and then you dip it in the marinara. You dip it in the sauce and you eat it. It feels like an extra step where I kind of wish the sauce was inside of there. And it sometimes you get, depending on what your calzone, it's too meaty on the inside. Much like the brand new Jimmy John's pizza subs, which we tried last night. We went on a walk to our local Jimmy John's, and I tried it out. It was just too much for me. I didn't like it.
Mine
I would
was
never
delicious.
get it again.
So you can get any of the subs toasted now.
Yeah, so
I got a number 11 toasted.
There you go.
No tomato.
I didn't care for mine. I would not get mine again. Too much packed in meat, and then they had cold spots, hot spots, so they need to work on the toaster.
It's because there was too much in it.
It's too much.
They overloaded it, so it couldn't cook even.
I don't know, but it wasn't. But calzones are okay. I don't mind them, but I'd go pizza over calzone. Strambolis. That's kind of like a pizza quick on the go. It's almost like a toaster pastry. What are those kind of things that you put in the toaster? The toaster strudel. It reminds me of the Italian toaster strudel. I didn't even know what
it was for a second.
Kind of. It's like a long, skinny. Long and skinny. Mm-hmm. Usually long and thick is what you can usually describe.
Yeah. I was going to say like an egg roll.
Yeah, like an Italian egg roll. It's kind of like that. That's a good analogy too. So Strambolis are okay. I dabble, not a huge Stromboli. My favorite Stromboli I've ever had was a meatball one though. It had meatballs in it. That was very good. Bagel bites, chef's kiss. Love bagel bites. It's a childhood staple back in the day. I love those. You probably like them too. Yeah, we dabble here. The kids eat them every once in a while. I like
the bagels end up being too hard.
Yeah, it depends how you make them, but those are always pretty good. Pizza rolls, an all-timer, of course. Not as good as they used to be, though, when I was a kid. This is basically
you're listing our kids' diets.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bagel bites, pizza rolls, and cheesy bread.
Yeah. Pizza rolls are good. I like a pepperoni pizza roll. That's pretty much it. There's a few other ones. Like the taco one's okay every once in a while. I like to see, every once in a while, I see like people online like dressing up their pizza rolls. Like they'll make the pizza rolls and they'll put them in like a big bowl and they'll whisk them with a different sauce or something, sprinkle stuff on them, fancy them up. I would like to try that.
Oh, almost like it's a wing.
They fancy it up. I wouldn't mind doing that or trying that one of those times, but that's pretty good. Pizza rolls are a pretty good staple. Don't eat them a whole lot, but in a pinch they're good, especially when I was a kid, much like bagel bites.
You gotta let them cool down too.
You do. It's dangerous. And I used to always do the gimmick with pizza rolls is, the four corners.
I would always bite a corner.
I'd bite the tips off of all four corners and sit them down, and then by the time I'd work through all of them, it would be good to go. So that's what I would always do.
For the kids, I always cut them in half with the little kitchen scissors.
These kids, come on, they need to burn their mouth.
Babies.
They need to learn. And then cheesy bread, which who doesn't like a cheesy bread? I mean, a garlic bread, 5 cheese bread, whatever it may be, you can't go wrong with that. I wouldn't eat that just straight for dinner, which lately my kids, it drives us nuts. They'll get a frozen Texas toast or a frozen like cheese bread, and they'll split it up and they'll eat that's their dinner, like 5 pieces of cheesy bread toast. I'm like, that's real healthy for you. But I don't mind it. You have spaghetti or something or pasta, you get one of those. And I don't even mind it if I go out to like pizza and you have one of those or something. So I'm definitely not against cheesy bread. That's
but we would never order any of this if we went out. This is all mostly stuff that we would eat at home, like random stuff we would make in the air fryer.
I've had a calzone a couple of times, and it must have been at the grocery store. Of course, they have them in their fresh case. And I think when I have lunch for work or something, that's where I'm maybe dabbling one. But none of this stuff would be out to eat. It's always pizza if we're going out to eat. And I don't get enough pizza these days. Angie's off the pizza kick. She doesn't like the cheese anymore, and the kids don't like pizza. It's just a terrible existence.
I love cheese. It doesn't love me.
It doesn't love you back. I see. Well, that happens too. All right. Well, there's that question. Let's see here. Eric Fint is back again, 9255. Angie, you could try to chime in on this one. Podcast question candidate. As a heavy metal enthusiast and with the second movie hitting theaters soon, have you ever seen and what are your thoughts on This Is Spinal Tap mockumentary? Have you ever seen This Is Spinal Tap?
It goes to 11.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay. I've seen it like twice, and I got to be honest, I was never a fan. It didn't really make me laugh, and like, I don't know if I just like heavy metal so much, it's like doesn't feel like it. I'm just not in on the joke. I don't know. It just doesn't resonate with me very well for whatever reason. I've heard of many of the stories about there, how it's like the Black Sabbath tour back in the day with Stonehenge being small. So some of those Easter eggs are always kind of fun to see, but it never really resonated with me for whatever reason. And I'm sure I'll see Spinal Tap 2. I'm not going to rush out to the theater to see it, but I don't know. For whatever reason, it's one of those movies that I would think. I love comedy. I love heavy metal, but for some reason, it just doesn't go together with me. I don't know. I can't explain it.
It's like a spoof movie?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, mockumentary and stuff. I mean, it's like a documentary of a band, and you know they can't keep a drummer, and all. It's a lot of these like usually like Judas Priest. I think that's where they get that from. Like for a while, they had different drummers all the time. I don't know. Not against it. It's just not my favorite. I will see the second movie. I'm just not in a rush to see it. Like I was the Toxic Avenger, of course. I was in a rush for that one. Not so much Spinal Tap 2. And then we got one question left. Angie, I'll let you read this one here.
It's tiny.
Can you read that?
I'm loving this podcast.
Who do you start with the name?
Bethany Waite. Hey, Petersons. I'm so loving the podcast. I was a little bummed to catch up and not have episodes every day. I loved your story of getting together. Next question. Tell us how Kyle proposed. Look forward to hearing more from you both.
There you go. I have yet to propose. There you go. Nope. I don't really remember. It wasn't a big old grand thing.
It wasn't, because we kind of did it together. Like,
it was weird. Like, we had already been together for 5-6 years, living together for 5-6 years at the time. So it like really wasn't like...
We kind of did, we not ruined it, but we kind of did everything backwards.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so it's like it wasn't one of those things where you live separately. We lived in different houses and we met up, or we moved in together. It's like we literally moved in together and we were off to the races in 5-6 years living together. And it was like, hey, we knew we wanted to get married sometime. We never put a timetable on it. I kind of said I wanted to wait till I was 30 to get married. So we kind of did that.
And I never pushed it. I'm just not one of those like girls with. I didn't.
She didn't push it. So then we talked and we said, well, we want to have kids, so we should get married before we have kids. So that's basically the. I felt like we were already married for 5 or 6 years. We already had the same house mortgage, all that kind of stuff.
Like we picked out the ring together. Yeah.
So we just did all that stuff together. So we went to an old people restaurant and that was it. And then it like wasn't even like crying, like knew it was coming. There was no special story of that really. It was like, oh, here it is. It's like, oh, this is the ring I picked out. Oh, here it is. It's officially here today. I mean, it's kind of sad. There's no fun like story about that, but it is what it is. I guess there's no going back. You can't redo it. We've talked about maybe renewing our vows. Maybe one of these days. Maybe one day we'll talk about our wedding. I don't know. Well,
there you go.
We'll talk about it maybe one of these days. So maybe that could be what we talk about. But
that's just as
that'll be that'll be a future question. But I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really a whole story. You got anything?
It's probably me that made it weird because like I'm just like not a romantic person. So like you never felt the pressure to like put something big together.
Nope.
Like we probably would have never got married. I would have never pressured you in it if we didn't.
Boy, now if I could have redone it. I don't know.
But I guess I wanted to. Once we decided we wanted to have kids, I didn't want to have like a different last name, and that was like important.
Yeah, so that was the thing. So then, just that was the way it went. But yeah,
I'm just a weird chick like that.
Yeah, so there was no push. There was no nothing. It was really a terrible story. There was no surprise engagement. I didn't hide the ring in her salad. She actually choked on it. We had to wait a day or two to get the ring back. There was none of those stories. Nothing like that. It was just kind of... hey, we should do this. Let's plan on it. Let's look at this. Okay, let's do it. And then this is the day. Here it is. All the rings here. Hey, let's go to this semi-fancy restaurant and celebrate. And
I put the ring on.
Put the ring off. Never took it off. Me neither. Mine doesn't fit anymore. Hard times. I need to get a new ring. But yeah, nothing too exciting.
It's sad.
Yeah, it's too bad. But yeah, no grand story with that one. Of all the things you'd think you'd have a grand story about, it's not there. Not there.
Well, don't worry, our wedding isn't a grand story.
Wedding is a grand story, though, I would say. Maybe. We'll talk about that. So there it is. That is the 25th episode questions. And of course, we do questions all the time. So if you want to be a question, stick it in the comments down below or email to, of course, the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com. And Angie will take care of that right away there. But that is about it for the 25th episode. Angie, what did we learn today?
I don't know. So much missed opportunity there, though.
Missed opportunity.
They could have found out my favorite position.
Yeah, you
so
love
much interesting information.
Yeah, now they lost it.
They're scared.
I'll tell you guys, she's a heck of a third baseman. That hot corner, she's on there all the time. That is her best position. But you also like second base, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and occasionally left field if you're feeling tired. But Angie's. You missed opportunity, but it is what it is. Maybe for the 50th episode, maybe we'll dive into it there. But that is. We learned a lot about jelly beans, though, this week. That was kind of the thing. Angie learned that she got to try some gross stuff, and I got off very fortunate in this one here. But
not good.
That's about it.
What else did we learn?
We missed out about Gage Octane, his final match. We missed that, unfortunately, under protest, of course. We talked retirement. We talked the Beatles. We talked a little bit of Bert and Ernie. A little of this, a little of that, dash the other. We learned about the engagement, and then really it was about the jelly beans, though. We learned we got a new sponsor of the podcast in Amped Apparel. Check out the link in the description below. Check them out. Use code Kyle to save yourself 20%. Got to get the deal out there. Get some of those good t-shirts.
I'm excited to go shopping.
You're going to have to look because they have a million different shirts over there. So I'm going to have to look for some stuff too, especially if I can save 20%. You know me, I buy some t-shirts.
I've been known to click a link or two.
Yeah, apparently. Yes, apparently. So does the credit card bill says, of course. So there it is. That is episode 20.
Should we try one more?
Oh, yeah. One before?
On the way out?
Let's do one on the way out. Why not?
Okay, we'll do the black one.
Okay.
Burnt rubber or licorice?
All right.
Okay.
Black licorice.
Not me.
And I like black licorice.
Oh, God. This is strong.
Burning rubber. You've always liked the taste of rubber.
Oh, my God. It tastes like I just straight drank motor oil. I don't even know if this is healthy.
I thought you liked rubber. Or no, you don't. You don't ever want rubber. That's right.
That is burnt rubber to a T. Try another one. Try to get it. Try to get the burnt rubber. It's crazy. Do it. It's crazy.
I like black licorice, so I didn't have a problem with that. My dad was a big black licorice guy, so I grew up with that around the house.
That was nuts. Did you get it?
No, I don't know what this is. Something else.
Oh, God. Was it brown or black?
Black. I don't know. Anyways, good taste for old Kyle here today. Bad taste for Angie. We'll wash it down with something else is what we'll do, Angie.
I need it. Oh, God.
But of course, that is it. That's episode 25. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Always helps to share the videos. You guys know that by now. And Angie, you want to tell everybody goodbye?
Goodbye.
Well, are we going to dance or are we going to play?
I said I know how to dance.